I took a really cool video this morning to Easter morning of just like this really great 4K video. All of the Hyraxes were out sunning themselves. It was really cold last night and it rained, and it took them quite a while to wake up. And so when they did wake up, they um, they all jumped over into the they finally got into the sun, and I got to take like 10 minutes of this really cool video. So many babies. I haven't even counted them yet. There hasn't been a chance to actually count them. I don't really want to know because it's never good because I mean they don't all make it. So hi Alberto, how's it going? So the Hyrax is, it's like, I don't know. I read something once that's like 60% of them do not make it past 6 months. But last year they did. Like we had, what was it, four babies last year? One mama had one had three, and they all, as far as I could tell, now they're the size where I don't know who's who, but it seemed like they all made it. Hey, Pavlov, I saw you this morning. I got some really cool footage after I had breakfast. I went outside and there was they started sunning themselves. So that picture I put on Instagram like a little while ago, there's some really great feet. Some of the best feet pictures I've ever had. They're really nice. Hey, Christina and Morden, what's up, dude? Um, it's and Irina. Wow, all these guys. Thanks for coming on. Yeah, there's so many really cool videos today. I was really fortunate, and so I also got oh, I have some X-rated photos too. Well, after I took this long video, like 10 minutes of this whole family and all the babies like sunning themselves, one of the men stood up and walked away, and his unit was out, and it's exceptionally disturbing. His unit is basically bigger than his back legs, and so I have some pictures. And so I don't know. What's the most clickbaity way that I can make Hyrax genitalia pictures go viral because they're obscene, and they have a hook on the end, like their wiener like has a like there's like a little hook that comes out of the end of it. It's like it's actually this big as my finger, totally. In fact, completely that big, but except it's got a hook on it. It's really terrible. So anyway, yeah, I hear Hyrax is at night. Yeah, pretty much every night someone will talk a little bit. Tonight there was quite a few talking, and it seemed like a bit of a an upset thing. They weren't just they weren't in immediate danger or anything, but they were talking about something. Yeah, it's barbed. Yeah, yeah. I mean, if you guys want to see pictures, I don't think I can share my screen. That's not that's not a thing we can do on here. I'm using my phone right now, so I can't. Sorry. Um, yeah, it's uh it's terrifying. And the pictures are, the thing is, as I was shooting into the sun, so I didn't know I was taking those pictures at the moment, and then all of a sudden I was like, wait a minute, I got too many legs. Oh, and I was like, okay, well let me just keep taking pictures, and I got like 4K resolution. They're kind of striped too, like three big stripes. It's kind of interesting. Unfortunately, I know a lot more about Hyrax wieners than I did before, as of today. So, uh, I don't know. For those of you who just jumped on, we've not been talking about Hyrax genitalia exclusively, but that topic did just come up. Um, so yeah. Anyway, it's scary times right now. Thanks for asking. I moved into the house almost exactly 10 years ago, and I always hear lions. I've heard lions like twice. No, I mean once every 2 weeks, basically. I mean sometimes more, but every 2 weeks I'm definitely going to hear lions when I go to bed. Because they're not far. They're like, there's a gorge here. They don't really come on this side of the gorge that much, but they have been here. I mean, they've killed pigs here on the property. I've had them right behind the Hyrax side. But last night they killed a little girl. There's one of the caretakers at one of the ranches, or it's kind of like a safari lodge, a place for tourists to go sleep, you know. And one of the caretakers there had brought his kids. She was like 14, or she was with her friends, and they're outside. It was only like 7 p.m. I think, and the lion got her and drug her into the gorge here. There's a gorge about 100 meters from here, and I'm sure she died quickly. But that's whew boy, I hear them right now. Well, actually, just before I started the live, I was hearing lions, but you wouldn't have heard them through my phone. It's a little too far away. And so when I heard a noise outside, I was like, "What's that?" And then all the Hyrax started screaming. But it wasn't like the kind of scream like there's something right in front of me. It was like, "Hey, we heard something bad. Let's all talk about it." Hyrax's favorite food. I mean, they like whatever's nearby. I mean, they flowers. They definitely if they can get a flower, they're going to be pretty stoked. Like that's a treat. Um, and then there's some nutty sort of smelling, interesting leaves on the property that they pretty much they get sold out pretty quick on the Hyraxes. Um, what's that over my head? Oh, that's just the roof. This part is that's sticks and cow dung and mud, and then it's been painted over. But the roof caved in some years ago, so someone came in and put rebar behind the sticks here, um, and then put concrete. So it sort of goes from cow dung to concrete, and that's about it. I have an electrical cord coming down here. When the baboons came in, they destroyed all my lights. So I had Christmas lights up that kind of lit up the place a little bit nicer. Just to just it's kind of like a little cozy cave back here, but the baboons ruined that. So I got to buy some new lights and stuff. But guys really helped out. A lot of guys did the buy me a coffee thing and helped me out. Is there a local hunter that will go and hunt it? So yeah, kind of no. Here, that's not quite how it works. Usually the Maasai people will actually go hunt and like do revenge. Either the Kenya Wildlife Service will trap some and relocate them, which doesn't really work. There's also a dude around here, an older gentleman who comes around and installs lion lights for free. He has a charity that donates equipment for solar lights that blink and that tends to keep the lions away. And if all the properties don't have those, the lions will go check out those properties that don't have them. So any way we can do to reduce wildlife conflict, because it's a national park right here, so they're supposed to be there and they are there, but there's no walls on this side, so they can move freely as a migration route. But right now, I don't know. It's pretty unusual, but it's not good for a lion to have a taste of human, because they might do it again. They call them man eaters. You know, have you ever seen the Ghost in the Darkness about the Savo lions? That's the next park down. It's not this one. But yeah, I can see the national park from here. There's no walls. So when I moved into the house, was there Hyrax already here? Yeah, they were here. Um, and no one had lived in here for a while, and the Hyraxes had really taken over the roof. And it smelled because they were pooping directly onto the roof and peeing up there. So it smelled like ammonia. It was really, really, really strong. So after a while, I finally, I'd got like, I tore off the top roof and I removed like 17 wheelbarrows of Hyrax poop. They all stared at me while I was doing it, like, "What are you doing to our toilet?" And yeah, then I put over some black tarp and cleaned up really well, and they stopped pooping there. Now they poop off the building instead of on the building, and next to my toilet over here, and it doesn't smell anymore. Um, so the hunters will not go after it. But here's the deal: if a lion kills like a goat or a sheep or a cow, the Maasai people traditionally, a coming of age ceremony for the Maasai was to kill a lion with their bare hands, like a spear or whatever. Well, they don't allow that anymore because they don't want people killing lions. But the Maasai can petition the local government and say, "Yo, they've been killing our cows. We need to exact revenge," and so they do that. They believe that revenge is a thing that works in the animal kingdom. I'm not sure I believe that, but they may end up. I don't know if they'll hire Maasai or allow them to go ahead and do some ceremony where they can go out and take out some lions, but I doubt it. I don't think they allow them to get involved with the human conflicts. But I think it may have been a Maasai girl that was killed. So we'll see. You can watch the news, or they may squash it. It looks like they already have squashed it a little bit. The news article I put up there was already gone, or the Facebook thing that I put up there on Instagram is already gone like a few minutes after it was posted. So it's going to be a thing. When you move in your house, oh yeah, right, that one. Hyrexes are safe though; they'll be fine. Um, how frequently do the Hyrexes come in? They don't come in anymore. I'm not around enough. I have to work in the city, and I don't really have a car, a good car that belongs to me. I have a car, but it's not mine. If I could afford to buy it, that would be cool. But I'm not coming around as near as much as I used to. I used to always be here, but now I'm only here like a couple times a week, and I don't want to let them in. The males will. I don't know. Having a wild Hyrax in your house can be destructive after a while. Um, but if they leave the doors open and stuff, they'll wander in. It's kind of cute. You know, if I'm here, I don't mind, but I don't want them when I'm gone. Should we send a Hyrax into space? Yeah, yeah, for sure. Absolutely. That's kind of a no-brainer. I don't even know why you would ask that, Mr. John Racist. It's kind of a given. It's like the RSTLNE of Hyrax activities, is like sending them into space. It's like a baseline, like one of the things you should do with the Hyrax is especially if they have little helmets, that they can, oxygenate. Oh, all my checks are completed. I'm going to upload the new Easter video that I took this morning. 10 minutes of great Hyrax action minus the gender reveal. That'll come later. All right. What happened to your roommate, John? Oh, John. John was only here for a while. He's a coworker. He's a colleague. John is. Uh, I work with him almost every day, but he doesn't stay out here. He's got a family. But there's sometimes I'll ask him to do some. We'll just do some manual labor together, and or sometimes I'll just hire him and he'll just stay upstairs. But yeah, he's the one who put. Yeah, that's the projector he was pushing the Hyrax off of. It's up there. But no, he's not around. He's got a family. What do Hyraxes smell like? Oh, everyone wants to know. Roman. Roman, you have a check mark. You must be. Are you one of our cool supporters? Is it called a member on this platform? Um, I don't know. They don't smell like anything. I mean, cats don't really smell like something themselves, like their poop does, but they do smell better than a cat because they only eat vegetables. So when I say they smell good, babies always smell. Like, babies have a baby smell, like a fresh creature smell. It's like that. When I smell the Hyrax, it's like, smells good. You can't place it. Like, what does a creature smell like? It's not musty. It's not skunky. It's not bad. It's not good. It just is. And I mean, babies are always kind of pleasant, aren't they? I don't know. A baby skunk may not be pleasant. Maybe there's a lot of bad smelling babies, but like human babies kind of have a weird, like, oh, why does that smell good? Ever smell a baby's head? Puppy heads smell good too. Yeah, Hyraxes kind of smell like a puppy head. I'd say that. No more projector warmth for the Hyraxes. No, I don't want them in here. I mean, because the thing is they once they get in, they get real comfortable, and they'll try to find a convenient place to poop, and then they'll all poop there, and that sucks. And then the males mark their territory sometimes, so that's kind of a problem too. Yes. Next is the moon, then Mars. No more projector warmth. Yes. Any news about King George? Good question. King George. I've not talked to his humans in like a few weeks. They said he went on a mission. He was gone again, but now they don't worry. They used to worry, and I was like, guys, don't worry. Hyraxes do that. They go on little missions, and then they come back. And so last time I talked to him, that he was not around. But the secret is they're not taking all the pictures. The lady of the house, the human lady of the house, King George will sit on her lap, and the dude that's in the pictures, he's jealous. But they're pretty camera shy humans. They work with. I don't know. I just don't think they ever want to be on camera. And so I was like, "Can I come over and do a documentary?" They're like, "Yeah, no, we don't really want that." It's like, okay. So I don't find out about King George too often. But when I do, I will let you know. Although I do think I have some stuff I didn't post from the last time they sent me. Do Hyraxes enjoy massages? Come on, man. Well, of course. Everybody enjoys a massage. Let's be realistic. Oh, I uploaded a video. Can you guys see it, or can you do both at the same time? Latest live stream shouldn't it just show up now? I clicked post. I just want to go over and just check and see if it's there. Latest. It says latest published. It's not showing it. Who said nah? Can Hyraxes identify different human beings? Alberto, what are you saying nah to? Okay, you retracted it. Okay, fine. You're allowed to. There we go. Okay, cool. Oh yeah, it's in 4K too. Wait, it says unlisted. Public. Let me fix that. Publish. Okay, there it goes. Now it's up. Can Hyrax identify different human beings? I don't know. It seems like animals can. I feel like animals can. Yeah. I think they're less likely to run from me than other people, but if I bring someone around, I think I'm gonna sneeze. Okay, the vid's going now. Sorry. It was on private for some reason. I don't know why. Are Hyraxes intelligent in real life? What do you mean in real life? Videos are real life. What are you saying, Missy Lissy? Um, they seem so in videos. Like, they seem more intelligent on the video. Yeah, yeah. The video does a pretty good capturing them. I think they're very inquisitive. Like if you bring a like if you have a like one that's been living with humans and you take it somewhere new, it just wants to explore. It wants to figure stuff out. And there's no that's why I'm a little weirded out about I always get a weird feeling about those Hyraxes guys have in Asia that have them in apartments and stuff. The Hyraxes don't seem curious. Like some of them kind of play, but like Squiggy was like very present and very involved in anything that was happening. It was very easy to capture video of her doing interesting things. But I think if you put an animal in a cage, its brain just shrinks. And of course, if it was raised in a cage and then like put in a pet shop, I think it deforms their little brains because something about those ones and the ones in the zoos, they're cute, but I don't know. Squeaky just seemed like she was always checking things out, always evaluating, always curious. They're very curious creatures. And when I brought over Squeaky to be babysat by another Hyrax person, they were like, first thing she's going to do, she's going to explore. So just let her go. So we let her go, and she ran around the house and checked things out. And yeah, I just don't get that impression from other ones. So yeah, I would say they're very smart. Um, so check this out. When I got Squiggy, I kept her in a box, but she was too bouncy. I couldn't keep her in the box. She always figured out a way out. And that was like the first 2 days because I didn't know what to do. I was just like, you can live here, but I don't know where you're gonna poop. She'd poop in the box or whatever. And so finally, when she could escape, she escaped at night and demanded, but got up on the edge of the bed, but I had a mosquito net. So she's outside the mosquito net on the edge of the bed, squeak, 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 squeak. And I was like, okay, she wants in. So I opened up the mosquito net and she came in, went down to my ankles, and slept there. And I was like, okay, I guess this animal wants to sleep on my ankles. Okay, whatever. But she's quiet now, whatever. And at 1 o'clock in the morning, she ran up the my legs and up here and came out of the blanket and started squeaking in my face. And mind you, this is like the third day of having like this tiny, tiny little Hyrax. And I was like, I don't know what this means, but she just doesn't want to be here anymore. So I opened the mosquito net and she got out and she ran down the hallway into the kitchen, peed on the trash, and then came back to the bed, jumped up, and asked to be let back in. And she never went potty anywhere else except for the trash. That was her idea, and she had enough thought as a baby to actually come and wake me up and say, "Let me out of here. I can't pee here. This is not a pee place." And she did that every night for like 2 or 3 weeks until she was old enough to like hold her bladder overnight, and then she would wake up in the morning and be like, "Yeah, please let me out now." And so she would sometimes get out of bed before I would. Otherwise, she'd kind of wait as long as she could. And so yeah, I think that's got to be intelligent, right? Is that intelligence? Yeah. I saw someone make a Hyrax do a trick. Oh, I don't know. I never tried to train. I never tried to train Squiggy. I just thought of it as a wild animal that needed a place to live because it seemed like it was an orphan. So I was like, you can live in here. And then when I found out that they have a very, very low survival rate, I was like, okay, my mission will be to just keep it safe for 6 months because most of them don't. A little over half of them don't make it 6 months. So like, if I can do that, then I've been a good steward and whatever. So just live here. You're not allowed to leave, but she didn't really seem to want to leave. There was another one that also came to me like the next day, Lenny, and he ended up dying after like a week. And then someone brought me another one, which I named Lenny too, and it just hated being in the house. It was also a little baby, same age as Squiggy, but it was just always crying, crying, crying. Squiggy didn't cry. And so finally, I was just like, I kind of like sort of let it like find a way to get out, and it demanded to just get out of there, and then it joined the family on the roof. But Squiggy had no interest in that, so I just kept her, and I didn't train her. I was like, this is not my that's not a pet. This is a wild animal that I'm just like a steward of. And then we became best friends, and yeah, I mean, whatever. If a person can be a best friend with an animal, we were. But that was not the intent, so I never trained her. But I'll bet she was trainable for sure. I mean, you can train an animal, you can train anybody. Food teaches, food's a great teacher. Um, yeah, those Awawa sounds are all sad. I mean, they're cute, of course, because it's cute, but it's not good. When they go Awawa, it's like that's they're not happy. I don't, and it must be a subspecies that makes that sound, or maybe it's just a genetic thing that those guys do. Maybe it's a family that just happens to go a wah wah when they make their noises. These guys don't do that, and I've never seen any other do that. It's probably just a family. Like they have different languages. That they, if you look up like Hyrax languages, they recently found another group of languages from tree Hyraxes. So they have their own little cadence. Animals not in their natural habitats, especially when they're in a lab type environment, have a huge amount of stress on them. Yeah, of course, right? I mean, they got to. It just breaks their little brains. I heard that rabbits, like if you have a bunny rabbit, like if you don't keep it in a cage, they also show a full range of personality and emotions and stuff. But you know, as a kid, I had rabbits, but I had kept them in cages, so I just thought they were dumb animals. But then when I heard about this, I was like, oh my gosh, if you could train a rabbit to poop in the right place and just like let it run around, what a cool pet that would be. I mean, cats are cool, but they eat meat, and they should eat meat, and so they stink. Things that eat meat, you know, I eat meat. I'm pretty stinky. So having a vegetarian animal is sounds like a great idea for a pet. They're loud sometimes. If so, what time of the day are they most noisy? Tree hyraxes tend to be nocturnal, so they yell at night, and people are freaked out by that. These guys also they just yell when there's news. And the news travels better, I think, at night anyway because it's colder temperatures. So I think that's when they decide to communicate, but they don't do it much. And then if there's an emergency, they'll do it. And emergencies tend to happen at night because that's when predators are prowling around when the humans are asleep. I think for the most part, hyraxes are okay during the day around here. And I think they've chosen to live here because being around humans immediately eliminates a certain degree of, hey, whoever gave that to me, thank you. That's really kind. I'll check in a second who it was. Anyway, I think that a lot of animals like to, wild animals kind of, in some ways, like to be around humans if they're prey, because then the predators are deterred by the humans, and so prey animals are just a little bit safer. You know, that's kind of like what way we have with the species of monkeys that we have here. There's like 10 or 11 of them that live on the property, and they sort of stay like in the middle of the trees. Like on the ground, there's more predators, and then from the sky, there's more predators. So they hang out in the middle. But here on this farm where there's people, they go on the ground because the predators aren't around. So they feel more safe and they can find more food and they have larger access to food because they're around people. I think that's the deal. I'm not a scientist. I just read and I get most stuff wrong. Yeah. So Squiggy wasn't me. She was. Hyraxes are quite smart. They also practice social balance. So, yeah, I think so too. Somebody just put a bunch of cool little squeaky icons. Right on. Thank you. Nemrax. So Nemrax, you must be a supporter. Thank you so much, because you got these cool little Hyrax icons. Happy Easter to you too, Alberto. May I see this heat? Thank you. Do they just eat any leaves? Well, not any. I think there's some poisonous ones, but apparently I was told that they have pretty amazing stomachs, and so they can actually forage on more leaves than a lot of other animals can. Like they're pretty good at digesting a lot of different things. There's some leaves that they definitely don't touch around here, but otherwise, they don't decimate a tree either. They kind of browse, and so even if all of them are out eating, there's never a tree that has zero leaves on it except for during a drought. The ones down by the bridge, they will complete. There's a tree out there that they will complete all the leaves once a year, if it's sort of a drought. But otherwise, they never destroy. You know, that you kind of never know they were out there. Life is great here. I highly recommend living in Kenya. Yeah, it's wonderful. I did teach her how to climb. Well, sort of. I think she would have figured it out, but it was fun communicating and giving her tips. It was fun. It was she'd follow my finger like, where are you looking? You know, that was cool. Teaching her to climb. I mean, I didn't climb, but the other guys who have Hyraxes out there, they say that they try to acclimate them to trees, teach them to go out and use the trees and do that. I had the privilege of sharing my life with a Hyrax for about 2 years. This was 97, 8, oh, and really in Nigeria. She came to me as a baby. A hunter had killed her mother. Oh, man, really? Sheena, that's amazing. That's amazing. 2 years, a long time. I had Squeaky for 16 months. She died in her sleep, and that was the saddest. I think the downside to having this channel is I miss Squeaky even more. But Sheena, I mean, you must have just known. I mean, everyone who has a Hyrax, they're kind of weird about it. They're like, yeah, it was really special. It was really, really special. Everyone that I've ever talked to is like, they are unusually stoked about their experience with the Hyrax. And they're all pretty unique. They think because most people I met have only had one. It's not like a repeat thing. It's like they're saving one that's an orphan, rescuing one from a dog, finding an injured one. It's not something that happens multiple times in your life, and so they all kind of. I remember someone grabbed my Hyrax and immediately put it on his neck. I was like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "Oh, yeah, it's just it's what he used to do with his Hyrax years ago. He thought that's what Squiggy liked. Squiggy was not a neck person, but apparently his was, and so it caused this sort of muscle memory. He's like, I gotta put the Hyrax on my neck. So it was cute. It's just so special. So Sheenan, tell me more stories. Do you have any other animals around your house? Yeah, yeah, yeah. There's a lot of animals here. I had somewhere I've got a video of a hedgehog that came in, and Squeaky was obsessed. Squeaky was like, "I gotta touch the, I've got to be friends with this thing," and she started touching it all the time and trying to jump at it and everything. I don't. Hedgehogs eat a little bit of meat. They eat bugs and stuff, and I was like, I do not want to deal with a hedgehog. Like, just go outside, you'll figure it out. So I made it leave, and yeah. Wawa Hyraxes aren't right. I don't know. The Wawa Hyraxes, I don't know what kind of Hyrax they are. I'm guessing it's a subspecies of a rock, because I think there's only rock and and tree, and no, wait, my memory's shot. I can't remember the other kinds. To Google it. I love how the Hyrax mother doesn't seem to care about you snatching one of her babies. Yeah, because that's crazy. Because if the baby was to cry, she would attack me. I've had it happen before, where I grabbed a baby and it was like squeak, and the mother just like turned around and came after me. But this baby didn't care, so she didn't care. I think that was a mother I didn't know. I think everyone here knows that I'm not hurting anybody. I think they just get it. It must be nice having an early warning troop. Yeah, it's cool. It is cool. You call her Sonic, and she stayed on my shoulder and squealed nonstop for the first week. I really loved watching your channel recently. Memories. Wow. Wow. She stayed on your shoulder. I heard there was a Rastafari dude in Nairobi that had a couple of Hyraxes on his shoulders all the time. He used to just like hang out in Nairobi, and he's like the Hyrax guy. I never saw him. It predated my time here. That's amazing, Sheena. That must have been so special. But would you agree they don't really have a scent? Not really. I mean, maybe that dorsal gland smells different in the ones that are in Nigeria, but the ones here, I don't smell anything. They just smell, like a something with hair. I don't know. Whatever they've been wallowing in is what they smell like. Squeaky would get under the furniture and get dust all over her all the time. So after a month or two, I'd bathe her just to kind of get the dust out. Thank you for streaming today. It was cool, huh? Your channel always brings me so much joy. How do you keep yourself from squishing the baby Rx's until they explode? I, it's I've blown up quite a few. I've squeezed a lot. They've popped many baby Hyraxes. Off the record, it's like wasn't there a character named Lenny of Mice and Men? Isn't that what happened? He squeezed some sort of rodent too much. No, I've never killed one, but poor mama. It must have been nice to have a little one around. But it was. How long do they usually live? I guess like 11, 12, 13 years. I don't know why Squeaky died. I have a theory, but I won't say it because it makes me feel bad. She died in her sleep, though. She was in this room, and I was talking to her. She came over to me in the middle of the day, and it was weird because she doesn't usually like come. She doesn't do a lot of just approaching, like hello sort of stuff. It's more like I'm sleepy, but not just like hello. When she would approach me, and she was a little wobbly. She kind of did this, and I was like, "What's up?" And I could just tell like something was bothering her a little bit, and she wanted to say something. I just like, and I had a community meeting. It was during COVID, and there was a neighborhood meeting, and I was like, "I got to go to this meeting. I'll be back in an hour." And when I came back, she was in her napping spot upstairs, curled up with her feet underneath, just like she normally would when she's gonna take a nice comfortable nap, and she was gone. I think her heart gave out. They said they tend to have bad hearts. I took her immediately to the veterinarian. I said, "Tell me what happened." And he goes, "I don't know, man. I've been very, very interested in taking care of Hyraxes, and as far as I can tell, it looked like she was thriving. There's no poison. There's no obstructions. There's no anything. She was healthy weight. I don't know. I think her heart just gave out." What kind of Hyraxes are at the Hyrax hut? They are the yellow spotted rock Hyrax, otherwise known as the bush Hyrax, known as um, uh, uh, Heterohyrax brucei or brucei or whatever. Hedgehogs are one of my favorite animals. They're great. Have you ever had a Hyrax make you bleed? Yeah. Squeaky got me in the nose one time. She was yelling at some baboons outside. She's on top of the door, and she was freaking out. She was checking it out, looking around, kind of bothered by what was happening. And so I got up next to her and I go, "What's up, Squeaky?" And she turned real fast, and I scared her, and she bit two little holes under my nose. And then Hyrax baby bit me one time when that cobra was here, and I was capturing all. There was one baby that was getting too close to the cobra, and so I grabbed it and put it in a cage for a little while until I got rid of the cobra. And when I went to pull it out of the cage, she bit and got me here, and it bled. Have you ever seen these Instagrammers who abuse Hyraxes? What? Oh, the guy that put the Hyrax out of the car? I don't think that was abuse. No, I saw him throw the Hyrax out of the car. He was just checking out to see what he would do. They looked like they were a pretty good bond because that Hyrax ran back to him. So Hyraxes aren't dumb, and I think it wouldn't run back if it hated him. I didn't. I know it looked bad to like throw it. Hyraxes can fall very high distances. When Squeaky was just a baby, she'd jump off my shoulders. That's 6 foot right here, and she would jump off onto the concrete, no problem. So like chucking it out the car the way he did into the sand, that didn't actually bother me. I mean, it was sad because like, oh no, you're gonna leave him behind. He was just testing her, but I don't know. That looked like they're buddies. That Hyrax likes to be with him, and I think that the throw wasn't a problem to me. I've thrown Squiggy. I've thrown Squiggy pretty far. They're like frog spider beanie babies. They can jump and they can hop and they can land, and they're pretty amazing. So Missy, I wouldn't worry about that one, that particular video. Um, but I don't know what else. Do you know people harvesting their fur for fashion? I do not know that. Seems like there's I don't know. Would a Hyrax eat human meat? No, they won't. They don't eat meat. She wouldn't even get near if I had eggs or meat or anything. She wouldn't even. She was after all my food. But if there was meat, no interest whatsoever. No, I was joking. I would not. I would not squish anything. Sonic was the best companion. She taught herself to climb. It was a great guard, Hyrax. Yeah, she would slap and she would slap her front feet and get really excited when she could make a noise, like doing this on a tin roof. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, Squeaky used to. I had a little ledge I put next to a window upstairs, and I'd be sitting down here, and Squeaky would like run down the stairs and skid around the corner and come running into here and go over to my desk and look at me and squeak, 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 like you got it. And then she'd like look at me like come, and she would take me over and like look, 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 and there's baboons outside. It's like okay, Squeak, that's what you wanted me to see baboons? Like that's the news?" She's like, "I got news. There's something happening outside. Come look." That was really cool. She was really cool about that. And yeah, they do. They have an alarm system. Um, Nani had one a long time ago, and she said this that she had one on her lap, and it would just scream, and she was like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa! Why are you screaming?" And it was scary. And she put on her glasses, and that Hyrax saw a snake like 40 feet away, and it just like, "I gotta tell you about the snake." Do you have any neighbors who could have poisoned her? I know it wouldn't have been that, but yeah, I have a feel. I don't want to say it. I I remember dropping a baby aspirin in my bedroom once, and I looked and looked and looked and looked over it. I kind of have sort of dirt floors. I mean, dirty. It's and under the bed is especially. It's like they finished the room after they put the bed in, and so it's and I my only thought is maybe she found that like months later because I remember I could not find it. I thought it'd get swept up or something. And then when the doc told me about like him having heart problems, it's like, yeah, I mean, I take a baby aspirin to like as a blood thinner, and she was a little woozy. I don't know. I also heard that bananas were bad for them, and I fed them bananas all the time, and they couldn't process sugar. Or maybe I don't know. I don't like to think about it. Sonic definitely had a scent from the dorsal gland. You smelled it like candy floss. Oh, okay. Yeah, so here's the deal, Sheena. I taught. There's an evolutionary biologist from Harvard who used to live on this property, and he taught me a few things when he came to visit. And he was like, "Yeah, their stomachs aren't made to process sugar, so you really aren't supposed. I mean, they obviously can digest a lot because it didn't ruin their poop or anything. Like you didn't get runny bowels, but like they're not really supposed to have sugar. And I'm guessing fruit is a lot of that. Other favorite Hyrax grammars? I do like that guy that has the Hyrax on his car that drives around with them. But otherwise, everyone's just stealing stuff. I don't know. I don't like any of them. I mean, everyone's really nice to me. Everyone's really cool, but I don't. Um, I'm not. I don't like seeing the ones in cages. I don't like seeing the ones in zoos. And it's not that I'm against it. Like I don't know. I don't have like strong opinions about like pets or wildlife. I just know that poaching is terrible. The whole line of the financing behind it and what happens to stealing babies from others, etc. Like I don't like any of that. But in terms of like people having them, it's like, well, it's whatever. I don't really have strong feelings, but I don't like to look at it, I guess. And then a lot of other guys are just like scraping material from other people. And it's cool to see collections. I mean, I watch them, but I don't necessarily have a favorite because I don't know anyone else who's really like having a great time with them. Um, I have a Hyrax WhatsApp group, so there's local people that send pictures of their Hyraxes that they've rescued. That's what I really like. But they're not people who do social media. Have you been able to repair all the baboon damage? No. I mean, I have the money, and I have like it's just I can't be here enough. I've got to. This toilet seat thing is going to be a real pain, or the toilet lid. I did get the toilet itself fixed. We sent a guy to town. He bought the mechanisms because they had stepped into the tank and destroyed a bunch. So I did manage to get the toilet works now. It just doesn't. The seat's broken. Part of the rim is broken. I think it's just going to always be that way. But the lid, uh, I've got to deal with it. And then I've got to replace some of the lights. There's a lot of stuff on the floor where they threw a can of paint down the stairs and it got into the concrete. And so I'm gonna have to hire someone to like meticulously scrape out this paint. There's no thinners that seem to be bringing it up. Oh no, I'm going to lose battery. This may not last. Let me see if I can get the battery to work. Is it 1%? It may just die right now unless I get this put up. Can I do it fast enough? Can I do it fast enough? Is that gonna work? Is it charging? Oh yeah, got it. Okay. Yeah, so thanks, Jaeger, for asking. No, time has not been enough, but I'll get it. I mean, guys gave a lot, and so I was able to get enough money to take care of everything. But now I just have to be around. I've been working nonstop, 14-hour days, so I haven't been around much. Oh, so thank you, whoever gave that money. Thank you so much. That really, 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 really helps. For those of you who don't know, I run a charity, and so I haven't taken a salary in quite some time, so I'm kind of just living off of credit. And so when guys give, it helps a lot. It actually does. It's not too expensive here, but yeah, it's really, 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 really helpful when guys say thanks and give to me. It's helpful. Yeah, right. Better not to overthink it. Perchance, don't think about it. Sometimes just have yeah, it's torture. Thanks, guys, for saying that. Hyraxes, can they do flips? They could definitely like do it off a wall, like do a parkour type thing, around. Oh, slow. I heard about the slow lowers thing. Yeah, that sounds awful. I'm the only channel I know of that doesn't have them in captivity. I really don't like watching channels of animals where they're trapped in a tiny apartment. Like, I don't mind a Hyrax like living in a small apartment because if there's always someone there, they what's the word the guys use around here who have them as orphans or rescues? Hedonistic. They don't want to do much, but they do need attention. They do need to snuggle, and they certainly don't need to be in a cage. Like a cat in a house isn't that terrible, I don't think. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't have strong opinions, but the a cat in a house, if it's taken care of, it's happy. It probably belongs in the wild or whatever. But in a cage, why? They're non-destructive. They're not. There's no reason to cage an animal. Like it shouldn't be kept in like a place where it barely can turn around. But if it's hopping around, I mean, my house isn't that big, but Squiggy was bright and fine, and there was time. Eventually she wanted to get out, but she wanted to get out because she had a boyfriend calling her, trying to get her to come out. She almost left with him one time. It's like, Squiggy, get back here. She went outside, and he was like, "Hey, come with me," and she was like, "Okay." So I yelled at her, and she came back. But so captivity sucks in general, but if it's like already there and you give it a good life and you let it roam around and it's not lonely, I don't know. But yeah, but all of the ones that I've seen that have them in tiny apartments also have them in cages, and it looks like they got them as adults. They have no footage of them as babies, so it's like, oh, what kind of childhood did it have before it got there? That seems kind of awful. So I mean, I'm not disagreeing, Peter, but in some ways I'm definitely agreeing that it's just gross. Do Hyraxes have good memories? I'm not, um, they certainly know what a package of potato crisps sounds like when it opens. I didn't have them very often, but if she heard that, she was like, "I know what that is." But I don't know. How do Hyraxes smell? I mean, Missy said that they smelled like. Was it Missy? Said they smelled like fruit. Candy, or Sheena, sorry, Sheena. So it smelled like candy floss. That's funny. I don't know. They just smell good. It's just no. They don't have a scent when you're around them. No. I never noticed that. If any Hyraxes tried to go for a swim, um, no, they do not like to get wet because they have such bad thermal regulation. It makes them very cold. I know about a family that had a pet Hyrax for years, a rescue, and it died because it fell in the toilet and couldn't get out. And it didn't die in the toilet. It didn't drown. It got hypothermia. So they do not like that. They do swim well, though. I have a video of them. So one of them fell in the neighbor's pool, and it swam quite well. Hyraxes probably can't have long-term friends, I think. But no, I've never seen them chilling. They just don't want to be cold. Now, if it was a hot water, I bet they'd go for it. I think if you had hot water, they would be like, oh yeah. But then they're getting out. I mean, whenever I bathe Squiggy, I spend a lot of time drying her off, just to get her, keep her warm, keep her next to a heater, keep her next to me. I spend a lot of time just keeping her warm after a bath. What's your job? My job, I am a puppeteer, or at least I was. I run a company that does behavior change communication for children and families related to health, disease prevention, and child safety. And we use, my art form was puppetry. And so we use puppets it's like a Sesame Street of East Africa if it was about health and safety. So I make TV shows and I make live shows and I talk about really, really, really hard, disgusting, or culturally difficult subjects related to health that may require a cultural change to their behavior in order to get be safe. So stuff about HIV and AIDS, stuff about intestinal worms. We did a COVID-19 campaign for a long time. Child safety, fire safety, child sexual abuse prevention. All these sort of topics are things that I just wish that were super fun. I've always thought it was a shame that learning about the alphabet or literacy or numeracy and science was so fun for kids. There's people who make stuff fun for them. It's not always fun, but there's people who do it. But there never seems to be anyone doing it for health, like life and death, like stuff that is uncomfortable to talk about. Why not make that fun? Why not make that actually enjoyable to learn? So I created a charity, a 501c3 nonprofit in Texas, and we operate mostly in Kenya. And so I work with a gang of puppeteers and videographers, and we make television and live shows. What's the tallest tower of Hyrax you've ever seen? Probably three. I'd say three tall. You know, a pyramid. Not just 1, 2, 3, but like three on the bottom and two on one. They don't eat cables. I mean, Jaeger. The thing is they go. Yeah. So there's temptation to go after cables. Anything that looks like a leaf, so paper, the really thin plastic she liked to chew on, but it's more like chewing, not eating, because they're very, very good at not, even if they're starving, they don't over swallow. They chew very well before they swallow. And she never really got into actually eating plastic or eating wires. She would chew on them once in a while, but basically anything that looks like a vine or a twig or a leaf or that shape, she would go for it. But she never really got into electrical. Never really did that. So there's a few things I would kind of hide. Basically thin plastic. Like if I had bought a brand new shirt that had the plastic on it from the department store, and she chewed it. She chewed the plastic, ended up chewing my shirt too. But she was just after the plastic. And I don't know why. She just liked to do it. She never didn't eat the plastic. Just chewed it sometimes. So I do enjoy Africa here. Africa, everyone has problems with politics and problem with leaders. But here in Africa, we're kind of all united against the one leader. So we still have the same corruption problems in America, but we're not divided. And so that's kind of nice. In the U.S., people seem pretty divided. They seem pretty angry, and they seem pretty. It seems pretty awful sometimes when I go back. People seem upset. People are angry in traffic. Whereas here, you can drive past a bus stop and you'll see complete strangers having a laugh together. People smiling, enjoying each other's company. It's desperate. It's hard. It's awful. It's very, very, very difficult here, and people are dying of unnecessary things all the time. And it's lots of tragedy and lots of heartache, but there's also a sense of hope and a sense of resilience. Um, and there's sort of I don't know, there's something different and nice, and it's a whole different set of problems, and I like these problems more. I think they're awful and they're tough, but for some reason, the problem solving that takes place here, because I don't think anybody has it easy anywhere in the world, but I somehow find these challenges more fun to tackle than the challenges I would have in the U.S. And I traveled the U.S. a lot before I came here, so I'd been to 49 states 7 times over. And so I'd seen all the country, as much as I needed to see to satisfy my wanderlust. And when I moved here, I stopped wanting to travel. So I like it a lot, and I think everyone should come visit. Squiggy would poop and pee on the trash. Glad to know teenage girls are the same across the animal kingdom. Yeah, right. Yeah, we're on an old conversation now. We're talking about Squiggy and her boyfriend. Did Squiggy ever ask for attention and affection the way dog? Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. Squiggy would come right up to me, especially nap time, especially when she was cold or she wanted to sleep. Just like everybody else. They want to snuggle when it's convenient for them. And Squiggy was definitely a snuggle bunny. I agree as long as the owner treats them but there's something magical about how you're there at the wild. Yeah, man, it's true, Peter. Like it is really cool. Um, it is really special. Like I'm very fortunate. Like I have a cool thing going compared to other guys with Hyraxes. Yeah, Hyraxes are super soft, Benry. They're super duper soft. I would say like chinchilla soft. Ever considered making a Hyrax puppet? Yeah, it has to happen. Do locals call them a wawa? Or no, they don't. Wait, they called them a wawa in Nigeria. The wawa thing only started like 8 months ago, 9 months ago on the internet, and that was because that one went a wawa. Did they make that sound in Nigeria as well? Because I thought it was just that one video. And no one here calls them that. Most people here don't even know they exist, honestly. I think it's really interesting and important these topics cannot be brushed under the carpet as they're a reality for kids in certain countries. Hats off for doing it. Thanks, Missy. Hyrax memory is pretty good, I guess. I can't really tell. The division in the U.S. is unfortunately getting wider and wider. I'm glad to hear that everyone in Africa is united. I wouldn't say everyone is united. I would just say there's more. We're united against the same things, and not in Africa, just in Kenya. I mean, Africa. I mean, Sudan is. South Sudan is really, 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 really. Oh wait, is it? Hold on. Yeah, South Sudan's really rough right now. Really, really, really rough. Division for sure. It's yeah. Every country's different, right? Have you seen lions prowling around the Hyrax set? No, not recently. There were some footprints outside the gate last week, but not here. The struggle of daily life keeps people sane. Modern life is hedonistic and leads to people finding dumb reasons to get ritualistic and fight each other. Yeah, I would say so. I think there really is a language where they can call a wawa, which is so funny. Yeah, that's wild, Jaeger. Huh. Well, that would make sense, right? If they make that noise somewhere, then why not call them that there? Really? Sheena, that's really interesting. They called them a wawa. Oh, it must have been because that maybe that's where those ones that go a wawa live. Huh. Huh. Okay. Bidoof, you're back. Hey, man. All right. 10:30. That is bedtime for me. So I think I'm gonna go to sleep. I'll get up nice and early and do a YouTube live or something. I don't know if I'll do live. I'll get some good footage maybe in the morning. We'll see what happens. I do a live before coffee, and then after I have breakfast, to do it again. And then I have more work to do tomorrow. I'm going to do a magic show at the shopping mall. My crew got overextended, and so I was like, "All right, guys, I'll do some magic shows just to help you out. The money's not great, but it's a part of a package deal. So my crew, we do during the holidays, Easter and Christmas, we do a lot of extra like non-educational stuff, just to make money for the charity. And sometimes it means I have to help out because we get overextended. I prefer not to be doing mall shows anymore, but there we go. In a cave. Yeah, dude, I live in a manyatta. It's made out of cow dung, and this part's concrete actually. It was repaired. More stories later. I'm not even gonna save this one. This is just for you guys. If you guys want to do the buy me a coffee thing, there's definitely a link there for that. And also you could join and become a member. Any amount. I've never really got into this to monetize, but since people started offering, I'm like, wow, this is really, really helpful. This is actually a very helpful part of my life, is to have the joy of getting to take video of all the Hyraxes, and people like that. That's really cool because I thought I was the only one. Of course, I didn't know about them, and that's a lot of joy. And then when people started saying, "Hey, can we donate?" I was like, "What? There's a monetary reason to do this? That's really cool." It really, I mean, it helps out. I mean, I live in a big city, but I can't always afford to go out to dinner. But someone gives a little bit, and I'm like, all right, I can actually, do something special, and I can repair things and do stuff. So it's pretty nice when people give. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I have a nice smile when I smile, but when I don't smile, I have resting bitch face. Everyone thinks I'm angry all the time. All the time. Are you upset? No, I'm not upset. Just, I'm happy on the inside. But when I smile, I look like a normal person. Thank you for that. All right, guys, have a good night. Sleep well, and check out that new video I just did. 10 minutes, and it sounds great. There's no airplanes this time, so all the birds are there, and it's all in 4K. So that's really sweet. So check it out, and see you again. Thanks, everybody. Thank you so much. Bye, Missy. And thanks, Sheena. Was it Sheena? Yes. Tell me more stories. You can always make a comment or something or whatever. I would love to hear. If you have any pictures, like you should scan them. That'd be really cool. People in this community would really like to see that. So, yeah, Sheena. Thanks for popping on. I'd love to hear more from you. Thanks, Peter. Oh, thanks, Peter. Thanks a lot. Thank you, Peter and Elizabeth. All right. Good night, guys. I should actually leave when I say I'm going to. Goodbye.